Hey, hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Kenneth, how are you doing? You doing all right? Welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Georgia Girl. Today is Wellness Wednesday, and I want to share some things about autism awareness. Hey, Joshua, how are you doing? Hello, welcome in. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, I do welcome you. I'm your host, of course. Today is Wellness Wednesday. This is where I share awareness. I advocate. I have merch for autism awareness. And put this disclaimer out. Hey, Frank, I'm going to put this disclaimer out. My channel is not here to diagnose or suggest any type of treatments. This is just awareness, information. I do share. If you find that my channel is helpful for you today, don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Welcome in. I got my other channel running, so you probably see different people coming in. Just be respectful in the chat, please. Yeah, I got both channels running. I'm trying to work with that channel too. So today is Wellness Wednesday again. Hold on. If you're coming in, I do welcome you. How's everybody day going? How's everybody day going? Oh, okay. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. Everybody day going. And I've been enjoying your prayers today, this week. Kenneth, how your day going? I think those new people probably from the other channel. I do welcome you long you're being respectful. I don't know how to put moderators on that channel. I got to figure it out. But I'll probably just look at it on my other phone. How's everybody doing? Is everybody enjoying this beautiful spring weather? It was up in the 80s today, guys. It was up in the 80s today. Hey, welcome in. Hey, Derek. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Miss April. I see my members up in here. How you doing, Miss April? Good to see you. How's everybody been doing? Like I said, this is Autism Awareness Month. Y'all know what I do over here. I just share information, share about awareness, what's going on throughout the month. I also advertise my shirt. This shirt here said Autism Awareness. It's good to see you, Derek. Good to see you. How you been doing? You been doing all right, Miss April? You been doing okay? If anybody want to check out my merch, I have these shirts available for autism awareness. If you want to honor someone that has autism. Are y'all enjoying this beautiful spring weather? It felt like a summer day today. Hope y'all been checking out my fitness. I've been doing my cardios and everything. I'm on my 9th week. Woo. I'm a little sore. That's sore for those muscles. I've been working those muscles, guys. If you missed my video from this morning, it is in my description box. Yeah, it's good to see everyone. Shout out to my members. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Good to see you, Derek. That's all right. I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. I have those days where I still miss my mom, but I know I gotta continue to keep moving forward. That's why I've been trying to stay focused on trying to on my health and everything. But I'm hanging in there. God is good by the grace of God. But I know Mother's Day is coming up, and I know it's going to be kind of hard on me. But I'm going to get into what I want to share about today, which y'all have seen this on my channel a million times. I talk about autism. I talk about breast cancer. I talk about IBS. I talk about a lot of different awareness for different months. And this month, it was IBS, stress awareness, and autism. So I have shared information on all of those this month. So today I want to talk about autism. Is anybody in the chat got any family members, or do you have autism? You know, you can be a guest up here on my show. I can have an open panel where you can come up and share about, you know, what you go through and things like that. And I always reward my guests with a gift from my shop. Terry has got one from me. Last year I had Young Riz. He came up and he shared about his autism. So if anybody wants to be a guest and share about if they're going through any autism, if they want to talk about how is it challenging, or if you're a caregiver to anyone that have autism, you're welcome to come up and share. But anything that I talk about today is for educational entertainment purposes only. So I'm going to just get into my commentary a little bit. I talk about this a lot because I do have loved ones that, you know, have autism. It's kind of like a personal story. It's a personal, you know, it's personal because I do have loved ones that have autism, and it is very challenging. Yes, I know you have autism. You ought to be a guest on my show one day, Joshua. Maybe one day you can come up and, you know, I'm going to be talking about it probably next week too. If you want to be a guest, you want to come up on my show next week, Joshua, I can put you up on my stream. Hey, Miss Key, you could come up and share about, you know, your autism and everything. You know, a lot of people, I just want people to know this is nothing to be ashamed of. You know, some people be born in that way. Okay, you want to be a guest next Wednesday? I can put you on my thumbnail. Let's see what I got to do next Wednesday. See if I got a doctor appointment. But anyway, when I put your picture up and tag you, you could come up and share, you know, some things. You know how I do over here. And I will be awarding you either a shirt, a mug, or a water bottle. I always give someone you know what, be a guest on my channel. I always try to send them something from my shop. So you'll be a guest this year. Terry was a guest. He had got I think he got a coffee cup. Young Riz was a guest last year. So this is to help uplift and not tear down. How you been doing, Miss Key? You been doing okay? Like I said, just gonna get into some information about it, which I share every year. But if you don't have autism, you know, like me, I really can't just say I know everything about it. That's why I'm educating myself more and more every day, because I said I have loved ones that does have it. And you've been doing good. That's great. You enjoying this hot weather? It felt like a spring day today, for real. So I'm gonna get into some things I want to talk about today, which I have shared year after year about autism. I just want people to know that you're not alone out here. There's a lot of people that does have autism, and they're smart people. They're smart. They go on with their lives. You know, it's different types of spectrums. It's different type of spectrums. So Joshua gonna be my guest next week. I gotta check my schedule, but when I get it, when I post your picture of Joshua, Then you'll know. I get with you with the time and everything. I'm trying to see, do I have a doctor appointment next week? Okay, I gotta check my schedule. But y'all don't forget to check out everybody that's doing the prayer of the day. We're on day 3. I'm just trying to get the information out that I want to talk about. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Just a little sore from trying to work out. My body getting adjusted to it. Joshua, you doing a good job over there. You've been doing so good. I've been seeing you, Joshua. Shout out to you, Joshua. Keep up the good work. What y'all have for dinner today? Did y'all have something good? I got 23 people watching. Why not give me some likes? I know you're on my other channel too, so if you're on my other channel, give me a thumbs up. You're welcome, as long as you're being positive. Trying to get into my commentary here. Like I said, this is for educational, entertainment purposes only. My channel is not here to diagnose or suggest anyone any type of treatment. This is just awareness. And I also have my merch available if anybody looking for any type of awareness shirt. I do awareness from breast cancer, IBS, thyroid cancer, which I'm a survivor of, and autism. I do different types of shirts for awareness. I also have some inspirational designs in there, so you can just stroll through my store, and if you see something you like, just order it. And if you want something custom made, you have to email me at amymore6969@gmail.com. I can do your logos for your channel. I can do a logo for your shirts, do your brand. I just put it in, and I'm with Spread Shop. I've been with Spread Shop for a few years, up and down business. You know how that go. So I'm trying to find what I'll be reading to y'all today. And like I said, let's see what I'm starting at right here. So today we're talking about autism awareness, and it's mostly importantly to understand and support. First thing, you got to know, what is autism? Autism is also known as autism spectrum disorder. It is a development condition that hey Brian, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. You been doing okay? Autism is also known as the autism spectrum disorder. It is a developing condition that a person communicates, interact, and experiences. There are different types of spectrum. You been doing okay? Oh, you have autism? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thank you, Miss Key. I will be having like an open panel for anybody that want to come up probably next week. Joshua supposed to come up next week. Anybody want to come up and share about how is it challenging for you to have autism and things like that? Okay, that's great. I have loved ones that have it. I'm just here to just share awareness and let people know that you're not alone. There's millions of people out there that do have it, but it's different kinds. And I know it can be challenging in some areas. And, last year I had Young Riz. He was up there sharing his journey on autism. And so next week I have Joshua up here. But you have, okay, asparagus. Okay. You still be singing, Brian? You still be singing? I know I hadn't seen you in a while, but it's good to see you. I'm doing okay. I lost my mom by almost 4 months ago. It been kind of rough on me, but I thank God for His grace and mercy that I'm doing well to be expected. I try to keep moving and try to just get on my channel and try to keep myself motivated. I start doing my fitness, focusing more on my health, and I try to share more things on my channel just to keep myself from stressing and just trying to maintain. Oh, I do. I just been staying out the way on here. I understand, but it's good to see you. It is so good to see you. Yes, it was hard. It's still hard on me, but I try to, you know, stay focused. So that's what we're talking about today. Like I said, you got to know what autism is. And like I said, this is just commentary. I can't really say how a person live with autism. I know I have relatives that does have it, and I be around them, and it can be challenging for them, but that's what we're supposed to do. Try to inspire and help uplift them. Let them know that they are not alone, and they can do whatever they can do if they put their mind to it. Just try to keep people motivated. But there, like I said, there are different types of autism. So like I said, autism is known as a spectrum disorder development condition that a person communicate, interact, experience. They have different types of autism. Okay, so let me get into this right here. So autism, also known as the autism spectrum disorder, is a development condition that affects how a person communicate, interacts, and experience in the world. You may not know this, but about 1 in 36 children are diagnosed with autism. It affects all races, backgrounds, and families. Everyone with autism is different strength, different challenges, and that's why awareness matters, because understanding leads to compassion. I'm always trying to keep myself educated on different things. Like I said, I have relatives that does have autism. It's I know it's some challenges to take care of someone with autism. I know that because I go through it. I see it every day. Um, to anyone to anyone watching who has autism or love someone with autism, you are not alone. We see you, we support you, and we stand with you. Support awareness, spread love, and keep learning. Don't forget to check out my awareness merch at my Georgia Girl Everywoman boutique. I had enthesitis when I was 5 years old. Amy. Okay, what is that? I'm trying to see. I'm trying to read and see what that is. Encephalitis is one. So what is that, Joshua? I'm not Joshua, but Kenneth. I'm not sure what that is. I have to look it up. What is it, Kenneth? But there are people with autism that go on to have careers, they go on to have lives. They don't let that stop them from succeeding. Hey, welcome in, like Brian. I have been out with Brian's channel. Brian has been on my channel. I didn't never know he had autism until he just said it. See, you don't just know it unless you just be around someone or talk to someone. But Brian is very intelligent. He sing. He have a beautiful voice, y'all. I don't know if y'all have heard Brian sing. He have sung on my channel before. I was born in April and I'm autistic. Oh, okay. How are you doing? Is it challenging for you? It affect the brain. Oh, okay. So did you grow out of it, or you still? I mean, you have it every day. Just something you live with. I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna look the word up and read on it. It's kind of challenging for you. Oh, okay. Just hang in there. Just continue to keep going. I have it in ADHD. Okay. From reading and trying to continue to educate myself more and more about it. Like I said, I have loved ones that does have it, and being around them, I'm trying to learn more and more, because there are autism where people can't really speak. They don't have verbal, they can't talk. And some people just go through different spectrums of it. But they're smart and intelligent people. And, I'm here. I use my platform to let people know that you're not alone, and that continue to keep doing what you're doing and continue to keep the faith. I still have, but I'm much better. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, Kenneth. I was wondering, because I know how you come in my chat, Kenneth, and I know what you share to me sometime. And I was wondering, did you have autism? I was wondering that, about you. But you said you have something going on that affect your brain. So, okay. I'm going to open up this card so I can go in my DM. Someone sent me a spectrum chart. Okay. Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? How old are you? The real seven. The real seven. How old are you? You probably coming through my other channel. How old are you? But never be ashamed of your story. You just never know what you're going through can inspire others. Like I said, there are athletes, there are people, famous people that have autism, and they still went on with their lives. They didn't let that stop them from getting their education or stop them from doing the things they want to do. It just all depends on the spectrum you're on. I will be sharing like different types of spectrums and things like that. Like I said, I'm just a vlogger. I'm not licensed to diagnose anyone or suggest anything for anyone to do. If anything, if anybody got like the young lady, I'm assuming you're a lady, she came in, you can educate me on autism. And Brian, you can also educate me more on the spectrum, about the spectrum. Because you look at a person, you don't know what a person might be going through. Like I said, I know Young Riz has been over here, and he has spoke on him having autism. He has shared his story last year, and like the young lady just said in the chat, that it can be challenging. And if it's challenging living with it, it's very challenging trying to help take care of someone with autism. Because you got to have that patient to be with them. They have their different ways and things. They do things different from others, but you have to have the patient to be able to work with them. And like I said, I'm learning. I'm learning a lot about autism. Even though I've been doing these shows every year for the past few years, it's still some things that I'm still trying to. I gotta learn. So the statistic is 1 in 36 children is identified with autism in the United States. Boys are 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than girls. Autism can be diagnosed as early as 18 months. Over 5.4 million adults in the United States are on the spectrum. Just know that you're not alone. continue to stay encouraged, continue to have the faith. And if you're all depending on the spectrum you're on, you could do whatever you put your mind to. Just continue to keep God first in whatever you do. So, see, I'm reading a different. Like I said, this is new. This is some things that I'm gonna have to be learning for myself because, like I said, I have close relatives that do deal with autism. So they said autism is now classified as a single condition. Autism, ASD, under the DSM-5, replacing older terms like Asperger's. See, that's what Brian just said he got. I think I'm saying it right, Asperger. It is categorized in 3 levels based on support required. Level 1 requiring support, level 2 substantial support, and level 3 very substantial support. These levels are not rigid and can change over time. Level 1 requiring support, known as high functioning autism. Individuals may speak in full sentences but struggle with social interaction, organization, and planning. Okay. So, like I said, it's different levels of autism and the different spectrums of autism. You bet. I was just reading, about they said there are different levels of autism. There's level 1 requiring support, known as a high functioning autism. So you have level 1. Oh, okay. This is the real. She just told me she have autism and she also have what you say, AHD. I think I'm saying it right. But you is level 1. I'm just going on the different levels of autism. Level 1 requires support, known as a high functioning autism. Individual may speak in full sentences but struggle with social interaction, organization, and planning. Oh, okay. I go by they, them pronouns. Oh, okay. So are you able to so you struggle with communicating with people, or how old are you? If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Okay. Are you a child or teenager, older person? If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? So the question is now, how is it for you at school? Do you go to a public school? I know you're 37. I'm talking about the young lady right here. I'm thinking this is a young lady. I was asking her, I know you just had a birthday, in January or sometime like that, Brian? Brian, did you want to come up? If you want to come up and share some things about just to help us educate us more about autism, just let me know. Or maybe you could do it on another day. But do you just had a birthday? You just had a birthday, Nate. Because like I said, I have close loved ones that deal with it. And, I have a couple of cousins that don't even have verbal. They don't talk. Then I have another cousin that, yeah, I know you had a birthday not too, a few months ago. And then I think my cousin is on level 1. They communicate, but they're not social, they're not socialized like on social media, like how people be doing and stuff. Okay, level 2 is requiring substantial support. Individuals have more obvious verbal and nonverbal communication challenges with noticeable social awkwardness and inflexible routine. That's level 2 right now. Are you 63? Oh, okay. Okay. I think I remember when your birthday came up too last year. You gonna have a birthday coming up this year. But yeah, so level 2 is where you have nonverbal and you have a problem trying to communicate with noticeable social awkwardness and inflexible routines. So, like I said, there are some people that are not able to talk, some nonverbal, and then some aren't. So that's level 3, level 2. Level 3 is requiring very substantial support. Individuals have severe deficits in verbal and nonverbal communication skills and significant challenges with changing routine or focusing. So I guess level 3 is kind of like the real, where you're not able to, you got to have, really do have to have support where you're not verbal and you're just not, how some people just be in the social area, stuff like that. So, September 12th. Oh, okay. So there's 3 levels of autism. You know, each level have its severity. Level 1, you still communicate and everything, but you still have struggle trying to socialize and things like that. The level 2 is where you could have verbal, but you still have some of the non-verbal communications and challenges. So there are different types of autism. The pathological demand PDA, a profile characterized by intense anxiety-driven need to avoid everyday demands, subtypes by characteristics. Recent studies suggest that based on social behavior challenges, developmental delays, and genetic variations such as broadly affected or moderate challenges. While not used for diagnose, these terms are sometimes still used for context. Asperger's syndrome, I think that's what Brian go through, often meant high functioning autism with intense focused interest. Okay. So Brian, is you still in the chat or do that? I mean, you're able to, because I know you be on social media because you be on YouTube, but are you able to socialize with people, or are you where you can focus on what you need to be focused on? And because if you hadn't ever told me, I would have never thought you had autism. Because I be seeing you up here singing, you be cutting up. I mean, you just living your life. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So the next one is called pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specific. PDD, is used for symptoms that didn't meet the full criteria for classic autism or Asperger's. Sometimes, but really I have troubles about it. Oh, okay. So did you have a hard time in school? Can you remember how? If you want to come up and share, you can, but if not, I understand. Did you have a hard time in school? I mean, did you have people bullying you, or were you able to finish school? Because you seem like you're real smart, just from watching you on your channel, and you have a beautiful voice. I remember that day you was up there singing happy birthday, I believe. And I heard you sing on your channel. You've been with the Gap Band. Very, very intelligent. And you continue to, you know, do what you got to do to survive. Because I think the last time you came through, I think you was either getting out the hospital or you was in the hospital. Definitely had a hard time in school, especially, yeah, the Zap Band. Definitely had a hard time in school, especially high school. I did graduate with full scholarship. That's all right, Brian. That's all right. That's all right, Brian. Yeah, the Zap man. What I said. Hey, First Lady, how you doing? Yep, Wellness Wednesday. Excuse me. And we're talking about autism awareness. And we have Brian in the chat, and we have another person in the chat. We were talking about yeah, I said Cap man. And they just told me they had autism, and I'm just looking at their answers in the chat, and I'm just going over some things, and I was just asking Brian, did he have a hard time in school, by him having autism? And he was just saying during high school, was a little bit, because I know people could be so cruel, people can be so cruel, but I'm glad you graduated, and individual with autism can be highly intelligent. Yes, they can. They just do things different. Exactly. I told you I got relatives like that. Real smart. So the next one is childhood degenerate disorder, a rare severe from involving a loss of previous acquired skills. So there's different types of spectrum. Okay. I just been keeping a secret for a long time. I'm scared to tell you because I know people don't understand my story. I understand. But like I said, before you even said that to me, I mean, just looking at you, and I see how well you speak. I see how I see the things that you do. And don't let that stop you from being the person you are, Brian. You are intelligent. You are smart. Like you said, you probably do things different from others, but I see how you be jamming when you be singing. I done even seen you over there on the on Swoop Channel. Mm-hmm. You all right. You good. You still gotta live. Like I said, over here on my channel, we don't judge no one. No one be judged about anything that they're going through. I do not judge no one. I do not bring no one down. If I cannot lift a person up, I'm not going to tear them down. Even though I was born with that, but my talent is stronger. And that's good. That is good, Brian. Let it outweigh what you was born with. And I'm glad to see that. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? I know you was telling me about that last year. How you been doing, Lynn? Good to see you. My granddaughter is autistic, and my son recently found out he was autistic. He holds out a job since he was 14 and drives and manages life. And that's what I'm saying. You still can have your life. Like I said, there are different types of different. There are different spectrums of autism. There are, but it still don't stop you from living, doing the things that you need to do. That's what you have: family, a good support system to help you. How you been doing, Lynn? Good to see you. I'm still doing what I do over here, and like I said, this is Autism Awareness Month. And like I said, I have relatives, close relatives. I don't want to share nobody else's. I'd rather people share their own story, but I have close relatives that have it. And I be around some of them every day, and it can be challenging taking care of someone with it. But, that's what we try to keep ourselves educated on it and learn with them, let them know, look, you're not alone. You're not alone out here. Brian just told me he finished school. I know he's a musician. I know he's out there singing. He'll be on the road. He said he went to school with a full scholarship. He went to school with he had a scholarship. He's 37 years old. He's still doing what he do, but he, like he said, some people can share what they go through, and like he said, some people don't really understand what autism is. That's why we do awareness. That's why we try to educate ourselves more and more about these things. Okay, good. I got a lot of appointments catching. Okay. But it's good to see. I had went over your channel the other day. You still doing your mental health Mondays, and that's great. Keep spreading the word, my sister. We doing kind of the same things, trying to spread awareness out here on these YouTube streets. We try to uh, uplift others and motivate, keep ourselves motivated. Like I said, autism is nothing to be ashamed of. This is, like I said, some people be so intelligent. My nephew, he's so good with his hands, y'all. He graduated and everything, but he liked to make those little characters out of those little twister things. I mean, he come to my house, he bring me these little twister made. He make me a little bracelet. He just real intelligent. He could tell you about anything on that television. Yep. So like I said, I'm here to uplift, to let you know, look, you're not alone out here. But there are some people with it that's not able to speak. They're not able to communicate at all. Hey, Life, what you sharing? Good to see you. Just talking about autism, and we had Brian come in the chat. He was, was telling me about some things about him. And I had another person come in, and they was telling me they on the spectrum, and how sometimes it can be challenging. It's good to see you. I see you still doing your thing over there. I'm still trying to do mine over here, a little sore, but I know it come with the territory. And we also had Lynn to come through. Lynn Life Lesson was telling us about her granddaughter and her son has autism. And, I'm here to just tell people, look, you're not alone. You'll be surprised. You see the statistics of the numbers of people that in the world that do have autism. And if anybody want an autism shirts, I have these shirts available in my shop. That's what I do. I try to make awareness shirts for different types of awareness that I do share about, whether I'm talking about IBS, thyroid cancer, breast cancer, autism, any type of awareness that's going on during the month. I try to share, and I try to bring it to my channel. Next week, if I'm trying to see my schedule, I'm gonna try to have Joshua. Joshua gonna be up here next week. He'll be sharing about how he lived with autism. Last year I had Young Riz. The year before, I think I had Terry twice. But like I said, I try to use my platform, for people where someone can come up, and if they're comfortable sharing their story. My channel is here for that. We're not here to judge no one. Like I said, I have close relatives that are living with it, and it's challenging to help take care of someone with autism. So I'm educating myself more and more every day with it, because I got close relatives that I be around, and I be want to know more and more about different things, so I can be prepared for that. But it's good to see everyone. But this is basically what we're talking about today. But I've been sharing awareness all month from IBS. I share some things about stress awareness. I try to bring different awareness every month. Some months have 2 and 3 and 4 awareness. And if I don't get a chance to do the live stream, I try to share videos, just, a knowledge to some of the things that going on throughout the month. So like I said, autism is something that we should want to share awareness about, because, she just said her son just found out he had autism. But she said he drive trucks, he do all, he living his life. He doing everything. Like I said, it's different spectrums. They're the kind where you have the nonverbal and where you're not really socialized. You can't really hold the conversations or care or speak a whole sentence about things, but you then some there the kind where you just not focused on socializing. But there are different places that help people like that. But it's good to have family, good to have a good support, family support or a support group to go through those types of things. But let me see, can I get on camera? That's basically what I was sharing today. And like I said, over here, we believe in lifting people up and not tearing them down. I have these shirts available right here. I designed this right here a couple of years ago, but I do have another design in my shop. If anybody's looking for any type of awareness merch, if you want to honor someone, if you want to order a shirt, I will have the link where you're able to click on and you can order something. Okay, I'm here. But it's good to see everyone. Is everybody enjoying? I got on one of my shirts today. It's autism awareness. I got them in different color. How's everybody enjoying this beautiful weather? Is everybody enjoying this beautiful weather? Y'all don't forget to connect with one another. We have some awesome creators in the chat. We had Life with Your Sharon just came in. We have Brian. He was in here. Lynn Lesson. Frank G. Joshua Brown was in here. We have Kenneth in here. Miss Key was in here also. Trying to make sure I don't overlook nobody. Y'all make sure y'all connect with them. Also had my members come in. First Lady, Miss April Shower. I had Derek. He came in. So it's good to see you, Derek. I see you still with us spreading that word over there. Yep. But other than that, y'all, I'm hanging in here. I'm trying to stay focused on my health. And, I get when I fall off, I had to get back on and start over. But my body is getting adjusted to some of the things that I'm doing now. So as long as my doctor reports looking pretty good, I'm gonna continue to keep doing what I'm doing. So hello to everybody that I didn't get a chance to speak to. But like I said, I appreciate the feedback from Brian. I'm trying to see what the other lady was. It was another person came in here. And also Lynn Lesson. Thank you for sharing about your granddaughter. And like I said, just being around my relatives, I see it's challenging, especially when they not verbal. You got to be able to understand what they're doing and what they're feeling, and that's very challenging right there, because you got to learn to communicate the way they communicate. There was another person in here. I don't see their name now, but I do thank everybody that did come through, that gave me a thumbs up. Like I said, next week I want to try to do a panel. Try to have Joshua. I'm gonna get with Joshua. See what next week. What is next week? Next Wednesday, either next Monday. It all depends. Let's see what my schedule look like. 22nd. I'm trying to see, do I have anywhere to go? If I don't have nowhere to go, doctor appointment, anything on the 22nd, I'm going to try to invite Joshua up. I put a picture on the thumbnail all the time and everything. And he can come up and share about how is it, challenging. Y'all know Joshua, he be doing his fitness also. Shout out to Joshua for doing the things that he doing. But yeah, but that's basically this series 1 right here. But I did share a short yesterday, so I'll be sharing some more information about autism, which I do every year anyway. But like I said, this is education for me too. This is education for me. So, Lynn, you say you've been going catching up on some doctor appointments. It's good to see you. I see you like you done bounced back pretty good. I know you hadn't had another surgery, and it's good to see you over there doing your thing over there. Continue to keep doing your thing. So I'm gonna ask you a question: is it challenging to help care for a child with autism? And I know it is, but like I said, I can't share my relatives' story, but I see how it is to have a child with autism. I see how it is. It is especially when they're not verbal, because you don't really know how they're feeling. You'll see the actions, but that's very challenging to take care of someone that is nonverbal with autism. Yeah, very challenging, because you don't know how they're feeling for real. You just know that something is going on. I mean, I got a cousin. He finna get ready. He should be ready to graduate this year, and he been nonverbal all his life, but he still carry on with his life and doing things. He's a young man. And like I was saying about my nephew, he does good. He's so smart. He real good with his hands, and he could tell you a show would come on TV just like that. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm here to tell people, don't feel like you're alone out here. It's a lot of people out here on this spectrum. You probably would never think that they have it. Like Brian. Before Brian even said he had autism, I didn't know. I couldn't, I don't. That's one thing I can't diagnose no one. So I didn't know if Brian or anybody have it. Cause he just being him. No, really, I currently have my granddaughter staying with me. Okay. The issue is nonverbal, but they have ways for them to communicate using the computer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So how are your granddaughter, Lynn? Yeah. But there's ways they can help. Yeah. Ooh, my nephew, he good with computers. I mean, he is so good with computers. I tell you. That's right. There's no judgment over here. Cause people be born like that. Okay. I know she a good little help, ain't she? She a good little helper. I let my little granddaughter, she always want to help. Yep. Right there. But like this is one of my shirts right here. You got the heart on it, with the colors, autism awareness. Is anybody else live now? Because I wasn't gonna be on too much long. I just wanted to bring that information, and yes, we need to keep learning, training them. Yeah, we do. A lot of them don't have the social skills and things like that. They focus on what they want, what they like, and that's what we have to do. We have to prepare you know and get ourselves prepared for someone that's not like nonverbal and verbal. Hey, Six Bo, how you doing? You say you like my shirt. I think I designed this shirt a couple years ago. One thing about spreadshirt, them colors, they don't fade that much. I know I'd have had this shirt about 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. You been doing okay? The reason why mental health is so near and dear to my heart is, hold on. Okay. Yeah, we gotta, keep sharing. You do good over there. It still look new, but I had about at least about 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. Spreadshirt be making some. They just know I design. I put the design out, but some of their quality is real good. Cause I got shirts, from breast cancer. I got all wear the shirt. I have to advertise from the shop. But some of the colors still stay. How you been doing? I'm just doing what I do over here, just talking about autism. And like I said, I have close relatives that have it, and some of them is nonverbal. And, you have to, I try to keep myself, try to learn more and more every day about ways that I can do to help them. Excuse me. I'm glad you are doing better. You look amazing. Whew, I'm trying. It been rough, Lynn. It been rough. Yeah. And Mother's Day is coming up, and Lord, that's gonna be hard on me. It's gonna be hard on me, but I just gotta keep trusting God and ask him to continue to give me the strength. Yeah, being aware. Being aware. And you do good over there sharing the mental health. And I share some things about mental health over here. A lot of people don't take it seriously. They don't take it seriously. They need to be taken serious. Like people were dealing with autism, like Brian. I know Brian had been dealing with some of his anxiety at one time. But one time I had my show on, he was at the hospital then, you know. But he seemed to be doing pretty good. He has the aspirin, what they call Asperger. I guess I'm saying that right. But he's on that spectrum one. He said he has some, issues with some, but I guess when it come down to focusing sometime. But he said one day he gonna share it with me. Like I told him, if he ain't comfortable, then one thing I said, if you're not comfortable with sharing what you go through, nobody over here would judge you if you were to come up and share how challenging it is to live with something. If I knew someone was over here trying to judge someone or make someone feel bad, you want to be connected with me, because I don't do that, and I don't disrespect no one, and I don't want nobody to disrespect nobody that come over here. Every year hard for me. It's a regular thing. Talking about the Mother's Day, yeah. My daughter said she gonna probably just take me somewhere, because she already know I probably be at home moping, but this is gonna be my first year without my mom, so yeah. But yeah, Frank, how you been doing though? You been doing okay? Like I said, some people do be born. Some people just born with autism. And it has something to do with dealing with your brain and stuff like that. So just never be ashamed of what you go through. Some people have problem with social interaction, communication, sensory sensitivities, repetitive behavior. I have seen my cousin, be a certain way. They have, I can't say that they have, when it's time for them to want something, and then if they don't have their, can't have their way, they will try to act up a little bit, like, but it's kind of hard. I'm just gonna be honest. It's kind of hard to communicate when they're not talking. You know what I'm saying? When they're not talking, it's hard to know what they're feeling. And but they have ways, like Lynn said, they have the computers, and then they'll show up, point out what they want, and then you can learn sign languages too. So there are ways you will be able to communicate with someone that is nonverbal, and you have to you just take patience and time. You just got to be able to do it. He has aspirin. That's what my son had. Yeah, that's what Brian said he got. That's it's like a high function autism. I just don't like being around bad vibes. I understand that, Frank. Me either. Me either. No. Yeah. But Brian seemed like y'all know Brian Hamilton. He be over there singing and going on. If he hadn't never told me, I would have never knew. But I knew Joshua, Terry, and Young Riz. They be over here. I know they have autism because they have been over here talking about it. Yeah. And it's mostly being boys. It started with boys. The girls have it too, but boys have the highest level of getting it. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. When God speak, listen. When God speak, listen. So they really don't know what, they can, like Donald Trump was trying to say, yeah, more boys, yes. Donald Trump was trying to say, which he didn't know what he was talking about. Tylenol was causing autism in kids. That's the only thing you can take when you're pregnant. Tylenol. Y'all remember when he was trying to stop people from taking Tylenol? He didn't know what he was talking about. That ain't what caused autism. Him and that man don't get on there and talking about they want to take I guess they were trying to take the Tylenols off the counter. Shoot, when you be pregnant, you be going through headaches and stuff like that. And that's the only thing I know. That was the only thing my doctor used to tell me to take. They said, what is 9% of autism caused by? And this is just an overview. It's not saying this is accurate, but this is just he sound dumb. Yeah. They say around 80% to 90% of autism causes are attributed to genetic factors, hereditary. It's saying it's come from hereditary. So Lynn, your granddaughter, that's your son, daughter? Or that's another relative daughter? You know how some people have, like for instance, prostate. Like my dad, he had prostate. So my brothers have to be tested because of my dad, because they said it can be genetic. Oh, it's your daughter, okay? Because they said it can be genetic factors with, like someone in the family. If they have it, it can, it can be like a genetic thing. So rather than they said genetic factors are like they don't really know if that causes it, but it's just like this is some of the things what they are saying. These genetic traits involve a complex, a mix of inherent genes and spontaneous mutation. While genetics are dominant, non-genetic prenatal environmental factors also play supporting. So that man talking about some Tylenol. He don't know what he's talking about. The key aspects of these factors include, like I said, this is just commentary. I'm not here to diagnose or suggest any type of treatment, anything. This is just commentary. If you got something going on, make sure you consult your doctor. This is just awareness. This is just information which you can do your own self. I just have to put that disclaimer out there. I do awareness. I make shirts or do some type of merch for different awareness, but I'm not here to diagnose or suggest anything. Talk to your physician or talk to God. A lot of people get their kids diagnosed. A lot of people get their kid diagnosed with autism because you get a check. What? and a lot benefits for autism children. Autism is a money maker. For real, for real. I ain't know that. Wow. That's sad. That is sad, you know? So what you saying that what are you saying that people lying about it or they just wow. Mm, that's crazy. That's crazy. But like they said, what people do for money, huh? But okay, autism is highly hereditary, meaning it is passed down through family genes. That's what it could be coming from someone in your family. It can be genetic. Environmental factors, prenatal environment factors such as maternal health, immune system disorder, obesity, pregnancy complication, and advanced prenatal age also contribute to the risk. So it's different things will contribute to it. Not no Tylenol, Donald Trump. Oh, for real? Ooh, that's a shame now. That's a shame now, Six Ball. People do that and just mm-mm. Don't let them get caught. I hope the people don't get caught. You don't play around. That one thing I want to do. You don't lie about nobody's health. Don't lie about nobody's health. You know what I'm saying? Especially a child. Don't do that. Yeah, I know people will do anything for money. I know that. So, interaction. Autism is generally considered the result of complex interaction between genetic predisposition and environment influences. No single cause. There is no single gene or factor that causes all cases of autism. So, what he was saying about the Tylenol, he don't know what he's talking about. So, if someone in your family got it, if you could easily pass it on. You know, it can be genetic, but it can also come from the way you was. You know how some people be having complications while they pregnant. Some people might be going through some type of immune thing, or you know, you never know what can cause. Because I know when I was pregnant at 45. Remember I told y'all I was pregnant at 45. I was having a genetic problem because I have immune. My immune system is get weak. That's why y'all see me taking those injections and stuff like that. Back then, my doctor was telling me that I was having genetic issues, and I couldn't have carried the child. If I would have carried that child, it would have probably been. They was telling me by my age that it was going to probably be born with something going on. Because even though I was 8 weeks when I had my miscarriage. They had already started giving me different types of tests, telling me that I got to be prepared and come to the doctor a lot and different things they was going to have to be doing because they was fearing that child was going to have some either Down syndrome or have some type of effects because of my age and because of the genetics. So God knew what was best. I was already dealing with some issues with my health, and because I think I got pregnant on the chain. You know how they say you get pregnant through menopause? I think that what happened. And I'm trying to see what Six Bowl had said. But God knew what was best. He knew mentally and my health, I wasn't going to be prepared or wasn't going to be able to handle it. You know what I'm saying? And when I had, it kind of, when I found out I was pregnant, I would cry. And when I lost it, I would cry. But the doctor was just telling me that child wasn't going to stand a chance because of some of the things that I was already going through. Genetic abnormality just cause you are 45. Genetic abnormalities just cause you are 45. Well, I mean, they did my blood work and they seen it. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you have kids after 40, what is it? 40, you have risk. You have possibilities of something going. I'm not saying it'll happen, but you be high risk at that age. Over 40, you be thinking your late 30s, you have how you be at a high risk pregnancy. So you wasn't a high risk 6 months. I know you did your pregnancy through the other way, but was you high risk though? You didn't have to go to the doctor a lot. I think after 35 or 30, let me see, when you be high risk. I think when you pass 35 or something like that, they consider that's a high risk pregnancy. So you didn't have no type of you wasn't up on the high risk. You know, like I said, I was having issue with my thyroid back then. And all that was coming up. All that was coming up when I couldn't carry. I mean, I had a miscarriage at 8 weeks. And mentally I just couldn't prepare myself. I was preparing to have it, but physically my body couldn't carry it. No, my doctor that's what he just practice just said. You wouldn't have been able to carry it, if you had a, he would just let me know that what would have happened. That I didn't even make it through all the way to be able to know what the child was. I wish I could have known what it was, but that was the experience. Having a miscarriage, that's something that it's just, I don't know. It was just something. I don't think I would want to go through it no more. And I don't, it's a mental thing. It's even though I was at the age I was gonna be a parent again, right? And I was preparing. And then when I lost it, I was hurt because I was like, that was my child, that would have been my child. And I can remember that day. I got emotional and stuff. I was at work because I was still working at the time, but I was going to the doctor for my thyroids. I went to the doctor because IV, not cause of my age. Okay, and all other women were older than me. For real? So that was good. That's good. See, I was already having problems. I was diagnosed with cancer and stuff. So I was already going through stuff that I didn't even know until after my miscarriage. About a year later, I was diagnosed with cancer. But I was having a problem with my thyroids all the while that I was pregnant because I had that tumor then. And see, all that played in a part of what was going on. That's why they said it was genetic. And I'm like, what did I do wrong, Because I didn't think, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. I didn't think I could have no more kids. I had two. My kid was grown. My daughter, she was grown. My son, I think he was in his senior year. I had grandkids, but I knew I wasn't on that. I knew I wasn't taking nothing, but I'm thinking I'm old, ain't nothing gonna happen, But it happened. Then my husband walk around like he like, oh, I still got it. Man, sit down somewhere. But that thyroid was the major concern for me as well. Yeah, because you said you had a sister or somebody to go through that, right? Did you tell me your sister, your aunt, or somebody? But yeah, that's basically what caused me because I had a tumor. And every time I would get my blood work, it was showing about the genetics and stuff. And even after that, now I deal with chronic pain. because my blood work shows the numbers of where, it's that C, what is that thing called? My C protein, that blood always be higher than what it's supposed to do. But that show like inflammation. It let me know I got some type of chronic stuff going on. That's why I'm getting my blood work done a lot. I get those injections that help keep my immune system. I keep getting those to help with my immune system. And since I've been getting those injections, y'all, I ain't really been having no colds. It seems like I be having more energy than what I used to have. Then I start doing fitness. I know I'm doing better than how I was a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, Brian, good to see you. I ain't seen you in a minute. Good evening. I thought I seen a super chat. My thyroid was low and my mom had her. Yeah, okay, it was your mom. I know it was your mom or your sister. So you was like high risk for that. Thank you, Brian. Happy Wednesday. Over here talking about autism awareness. And I was just speaking on how genetics, and they said, it come from genetics, and it could be coming from someone that, like, it could be inherited. It don't come from Tylenol, like your boy Brian, like your boy Donald Trump said. He think that the autism come from Tylenol. It don't come from Tylenol. It can come from women that having issues and stuff like that, but Tylenol is the only thing the doctor was giving us. And Trump trying to stop those people from taking Tylenol. Brian, I had to admit with you about your boy. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I don't know. I got my when I type on my computer, I come in with my other channel, because I got my other channel running too. I got my Georgia Girl Everywoman Boutique channel running. But thank you, Brian. It's good to see you. How you been doing? You enjoying this beautiful weather? I was just messing with you about Donald Trump. He was trying to say Tylenol would cause the autism. But he ain't know what he's talking about. He going off the loco right now. He seems like he just I hate to say it. The man act like something wrong with him, Jesus. But so 6 bowls. So do you be getting your thyroid checked too? So I have to take medication. Your mom take medication? I support Trump. I'm just praying for his salvation. You know what? We doing prayer this week, Brian. We are doing prayer this week. And I said, let's pray for the president. I'm not being, I'm being for real. I'm being for real. I was saying, let's pray for him, because I think definitely he need prayer. I think he needs some God in his life if he ain't got it. Being on a serious note, I think he needs some prayer. Really. You say I support Trump. I'm just praying for his salvation and that he comes to really know the Lord, being praying for him all week. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because we all got to know him. We all got to know him. And I try to keep him in my life every day. I try to keep God in my life every single day. When I hit that floor in the morning time, I know it wasn't nobody but God. I'm not going to say it with nobody else. It was God what woke me up this morning. Because I try to keep him in my life, put him first in everything. Everything I do. Yeah, it's good to see you. You been enjoying this beautiful weather? Yeah, that's what we were basically talking about. When I was talking about autism, April is Autism Awareness Month. I do my awareness merch shirts on different awareness when I share and talk. And I was just interacting with the chat. Some people that came in saying they are on the spectrum, and and I was just asking them how challenging it had been. And I have close relatives that does have autism, and I see how it is to have a child that not is nonverbal. You got to be able to communicate with them. You have to learn the ways to communicate with them, and that's kind of challenging. But other than that, children with autism, people with autism, I think they are very intelligent. They find ways to, they do things, but it's just different. But they are intelligent, and they are unique human beings, and no one should be judged for being on the spectrum, because that's just the way they are born. But I know there are some mean people out in the world. Some people don't even care. Don't care if they hurt a person feeling that being on the spectrum. Brian was saying he had a hard time in school. Even Kenneth, he had went through some things going on with his brain, and he said he was bullied when he was a child. I don't know why people feel like they can mistreat people, because some people are not strong enough to stand up for themselves. Some people can't defend themselves. And why you want to bully and hurt someone that's going through that? You know what I'm saying? Why? But that's just some of the evilness out in the world. Some people just don't care. I'm not just speaking on Trump, but there are some people that just don't care. They don't care what people are going through. They really don't. So let me go over here to my other channel right quick. See what is anything going on. Oh, no, ain't nobody over there. Oh, that what that person was. I guess they came from that side. Okay. Somebody named the Real 7 Type. I'm gonna have to go through my other channel. I was trying to see that they have a channel, but they was telling me they on the spectrum. And like I said, anybody that's on the spectrum, anybody that's going through autism, just know that you're not alone. And like they said they think genetics and all that play a part of having autism. But that just the statistics. They said mostly being boys. What that man named? The man that was that Musk man. What is that man name? He was with Trump. He was autistic. He have autism. That man, ooh, he got that money. But Sixbo has said, I mean, that just kind of stunned me. That for Sixbo to say a lot of people say their children have autism, for them to get a check, that is crazy. But some people, I ain't surprised. I'm not surprised people do anything these days. They will do anything. Like they said, autism spectrum is diagnosed mostly frequent in young boys. 3.1 to 4 male to female ratio, with prevalence highest among children age 5 to 8. While historically more common in white children, recent data shows higher diagnosis rate among Asian Pacific, Black, and Hispanic children, with 1 in 31 children identified overall. Males are 3 to 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than females. Age-wise characteristics can be detected before age 2. Diagnosis is most common in young children, with rate declining with age, particularly after age 45. Race and ethnicity. Recent CDC studies show that racial and ethnic minority groups now often have higher diagnosis rate than white children, particularly among Asian Pacific Island and Black communities who previously have lower rate. Okay. Raising prevalence. The number of diagnoses has increased across all groups, partially due to broader diagnostic. Common characteristics in diagnosis. Early identification. More children are being identified by the age 4, although many are diagnosed later. Concurrent conditions. Nearly 40% of children with autism also have an intellectual disability. While some groups get more diagnosis, male bias and screening. Diagnosis criteria are often based on male behavior, leading to undiagnosed in girls who may mask symptoms. Assess the care. The parties assessing screening specializes in healthcare can affect when a child receives a diagnosis. Okay. I'm just reading some facts and statistics about autism, and this is for educational entertainment purposes only. Although the gap is closing, autism is still the most commonly identified in young male and children. So it's mostly common in young men, boys. Okay. You have to get, they can screen you for it. They have ways of screening you for that disorder. So, but they're saying diagnosing can be difficult since there's no medical test like a blood test to diagnose the disorder. Doctors look at the child behavior and development to make diagnosis. So there's no specific test to determine you have autism. You know how some tests you can go through your blood work and stuff like that, but this particular disorder, they look at your behavior, the way your development and things like that, and that's how they basically determine. So they say ASD can sometimes be detected at 18 months of age or younger. By age 2 years old, a diagnosis by experienced professional can be considered reliable. However, many children do not receive a final diagnosis until they are much older. Some people are not diagnosed until they are adults or adults. This delay may mean that people with ASD might not get the early help they need. Okay. So I'm saying, they saying like, they try to diagnose you at an early age, and some people still don't find out till a later age. But if you go and get it tested or whatever, even though it's not a cure for this, but there are ways that you still can be able to manage. Even though if you're nonverbal, you still have ways to try to communicate. There's still ways to try to communicate. Hey, Prince, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. This is Autism Awareness Wellness Wednesday, and I just was sharing some statistics and some things about autism, and I was interacting with people in the chat. Some people that say they are on the spectrum, but they're, I just want people to know that if you're going through anything like that, you're not alone. There are millions of people out there in the world are autism. Oh, thank you, Brian, for being a Georgia Trooper for 5 months. Thank you. I appreciate you. So just remember, my channel is here to uplift and not tear down. And I share awareness on different topics, but it's for education and entertainment purposes, not here to diagnose or suggest any type of treatment. I also have awareness shirts. I do different types of awareness shirts also. So that's basically what I was sharing today. I'm gonna try to have a guest on next week. His name is Joshua Graham. I'm sure y'all know who he is. He could probably come up and share because he's autistic and he wants to share about some things that what he go through and how challenging it is. But he's a young man that's out there. Thank you. He's a young man. I see him doing his fitness and he doing his thing over there, and I'm over here trying to do mine too. I'm a little sore, but hey, I'm good. I just gotta try to stay consistent with it. Try to continue to stay focused on my health, but it's challenging. But it's good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Thank you for liking and sharing. How your day been going, Prince? This is Prince Daniel Everyone. I think I connected with him a few weeks ago, I believe. Good to see you. You enjoying that beautiful weather out there? This kind of weather, do y'all fish? This type of weather, people like to go fishing in. People be out there in their gardens, and you have more sunlight, more daylight. Yeah, y'all enjoy that sunshine, cause it go it gonna get hotter. It was kind of warm today. I think it was up in the 80s today, y'all. It felt like a springy day today. Yep. Let's see. These flowers are for everybody that came through today. But I'm fixing to gonna wrap this on up. I'm in my other chat. I gotta switch back over. I thought I was in my yeah, I got my other channel running also. So you enjoying it? Okay. So what you been doing on your channel, Prince? I'm gonna check your channel. What you mostly do on your channel? Okay, I'm looking at your channel now. What you mostly do? The Princess Bite Live and Living in Color, High Definition. Okay. You do different things on your channel. I'm just looking at some of your videos and stuff. I see you got a little doggy. Okay. If y'all want to connect with Prince, Prince, you can type troopers and your link will drop. I see you be doing shorts and stuff. You out there walking your dog, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you gotta put the S on it. Troopers. When you put the S, you gotta have the S on the end of it. Yeah. I'll make sure I have your bell on if I can be able to catch your next video. But that basically what I was sharing today, y'all, about autism awareness. Like I said, I do have relatives, close relatives that are on the spectrum, and like I said, they're very intelligent. They're one of my nephews, then graduated, and like I said, he is so smart with these phones and computers. I mean, these kids these days know more about these phones than we do. I be like, how you got to that? Ask some of them kids if you can't get on some of that stuff on them phones. Even my little 2-year-old, he just be my little 2-year-old grandson, he just be swiping. I'm like, boy. I mean, he know how to go right to what he like. That's why I said, yep. But I'm about to get on off of here. But I do want to thank everybody who did tune in. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do another show of this. Try to have a guest on next week. I don't think I got an appointment next Wednesday. But if I don't, I probably do it maybe that Tuesday or that Wednesday. I'm gonna do it one of those days. Um, Let Joshua come up and share. I just ask him a few things. Like I said, I want people to feel comfortable over here where you can share and you won't be judged, because that's how my channel is really based on. We like to share testimonies. We like to share things that we're overcoming, things that we're still working on. And you never know what you're going through can uplift someone else. So never be ashamed of anything that you have been through. Um, Keep continuing to be who you are. Brian, it was good to see you. It was good. I had both of my Brians to come in today. We had Brian Hamilton and Brian C. Brian Hamilton, thank you for coming in, sharing about your story, share some things about you having autism. And like I said, when you feel comfortable that you want to share and tell me how things are, you're welcome to come up here. But you did share with me with that, and I didn't even know. Just like I said, you don't know what a person could be going through just because you see them on a stream or you look at them. You don't know what a person might be going through. You really don't. That's why you should treat people right. Be kind to people, because you don't never know what battle a person is fighting. People are battling silent. They're battling invisible illnesses, and they're battling things through silent, because some people don't have the courage, or they're not where they're able to speak on things. They live it and they're dealing with it. But the main thing is treat people right. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. And on that note, thanks again for everybody that came through. Let's see. I'm still doing my cardios and stuff like that. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Charlene, good to see you. Just talking about autism awareness. How you been doing? And I was just sharing about, there are people on the spectrum, and there are people in my family that have autism. And I try to keep myself educated on it, because I have to, sometimes care for those people. And it's good to be knowing a lot of things. It's good to share awareness. It's good to get the information and things that you need to know about these type of things like autism and breast cancer. But you could be able to help yourself in order to help somebody else too. So, like I said, there's a lot of people in the world that have autism, but you can't judge that person. Don't judge a person because something they was born with. They're living. It's a lot of famous people that got autism. A lot of people that have went on with their life and did well, because I think they are so intelligent. There are some that is nonverbal where you can't talk to them, but there's ways you are able to communicate with them. We got the computers, we got things that you can be able to relate to them about things. So, like I said, I try to use my platform as awareness and have people to come up and share. I be want to hear it from people. I be want to see what people saying, how they're doing, how they're overcoming. And so I had a couple of people in the chats to share about things about, the challenges of living with autism and when they was born with it. Brian Hamilton shared, he had a hard time in school. And like I say, it's some cruel people out there. They don't care. They don't care what people are going through and what it takes for a person to be able to get out of bed or be able to be around people having autism, because it's just some cruel people out there. They try to bully others, and I can't stand it. I can't stand for people to bully people. The one thing I do not like. Then they try to, like, people that have autism or any type of disability about themselves, people do try to find ways to bully them. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Because we all children of God. And people with autism, they're human. They just do things a little different from us. Some are so intelligent. Some can tell us something. That's why I told Brian and Joshua, I want to know more about autism. Like I said, I got close relatives that I be around daily, and I'm learning. And for you, especially the ones that can't talk, you got to learn to be able to communicate with them. And like I said, when I share stuff like this, it's to help me also. But it's just commentary. It's not no one. It's not here to diagnose someone or suggest anything that concerning your health. Make sure you consult your physician. This is commentary for me, but it's also education for me to be able to learn and be prepared for things like this. So just know that you're not alone out here. You can be, and you can do whatever you put your mind to do. So I'm fitting to get ready to wrap this on up in a few more minutes. Y'all, if you have missed on my cardios, like I said, I started doing cardios about 9 weeks ago. I have been burning some calories. They burning, but I know I need to pick it up a little bit. The more and more I do it, the more confident I'll be. But I'm getting there. Hey Terry, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm about to wrap this up. You been doing okay? This is Autism Awareness Month. How you been doing? I know you have been on and you have shared about how you've been living with it. And, I'm going to try to have Joshua on next week. He'll be my guest for this year. I know you have been on before. Young Riz have been over here. I can't think of that lady name. Ooh, Sherry, she have been a guest over here. Every year I try to have guests over. We can talk and share about the spectrum. How you been doing? Your eyes and everything been doing pretty good for you? I know I ain't seen you in a while. I was like, hope Terry's okay. You been doing okay? How your lupus and all that going? Everything going good for you? I was just speaking on, autism, like most of the stuff I've been sharing every year. This is awareness. When I go back and talk about some of the things I talk about, that's what we call advocating and awareness. I'm educating myself because I have close relatives. It's not for me to speak on who it is because that's, I just know I deal with close people that does have autism. And it's challenging. It's challenging, especially nonverbal. Because you got to be mentally prepared to be able to socialize and be able to help them be able to socialize. So it's challenging to be like that. But I try to especially when they're small, they still learning. They're still learning. I had a nephew to graduate. He had autism. I got another cousin graduating this year. I mean, you still look at Terry. Terry told me he got autism. But look at him. He's a preacher. He be sharing things on his channel. He's well spoken. Everybody just like everybody on YouTube knowing he's a moderator for a lot of channels and he seemed to be living pretty good. That's why I'm just telling people that, that don't mean your life have to end because you have autism. It don't have to end because you have a disability about yourself. Life still goes on. You still a child of God. You might do things just a little bit different than others, but you're intelligent. You can teach people something that don't know anything about autism. I'm learning. Each year I learn more and more because like I said, I got close relatives that I be around, and I'm willing to listen and learn more and more about it. Keep myself educated. I'm feeling great. I'm doing great. I'm not claiming anything. My uncle JT Jones passed away yesterday. Oh Lordy, I'm so sorry to hear that. In a nursing home. The funeral is Saturday. Prayers going out to you and your family, Terry. That was your mom, brother, or sister, brother. I mean, your daddy, brother. Yeah, my prayers going out to Sassy also. She lost her mom. I don't know if y'all remember Sassy. She be in my chat. She also be walking and stuff like that. She lost her mom and weekend. But I was able to share my condolences with her, let her know she's not alone. She be over here on my channel. She be doing her walking and different stuff like that. But I'm sorry to hear about that, Terry. Prayers. Let's keep Terry and his family in prayer. He said he lost his uncle. Yeah. And I'm still grieving from my mom, still grieving from my mom. And every day it's just like it get harder, but I just try to continue to keep God first and ask him to continue to make me stronger. Oh, okay. My late father. Wow, okay. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear about that. So you say he was in a nursing home? Oh, okay. Prayers for your family. And I know you have been on shared about, you have autism and things like that, and you have put out good information about it when you was on the panel telling people, I know it can be challenging, but Terry, you seem like you turned out pretty good. You finished school. I know you went to college too, right? And some people feel like, I have disability about something about myself, but it happened. It started on me a few years ago, but yeah, sometimes I get a little depressed about certain things that I can't do, but I tell myself I can't worry about the things that I can't do. I have to thank God for what I'm able to do. And what we go through don't define the person we are. It don't define who we are. Y'all see me, y'all be on stream trying to do my fitness. I'm not trying to be in competition with nobody. I work according to how my body is and how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to thank the people that have been supporting me through this. You know, my main focus this year is my heart health, joint health, and my mental health. You know, that is very important. Your mental health is very important. So I'm gonna try to get Joshua on here next week, and of course he'll receive the complimentary gift. I try to do breast cancer awareness. I've been talking about IBS also this month. I've been talking about stress awareness, but I normally do the guest thing on autism. And so he'll receive something from my shop. I still got the autism awareness. This is one of my shirts right here. And Terry, you done got something from me. Um, please don't be sorry. It's natural. Oh, I know, but that's just being respectful. Just sharing my condolences. So how old was your uncle, Terry? How old were your uncle? Yeah. That's why I said my mom, God kept her here 86 years with me. It's hard. It's hard. It's still hard. It'll be 4 months on the 19th. And I know Mother's Day gonna be even harder for me, but I know I just gotta just continue to keep God first. And let him continue to guide me and everything, guide my steps. But anyway, I do want to thank everybody that did come through today. Like I said, this is commentary, this is awareness, and I appreciate everybody that did come through and share about their story about them being on autism. There was 2 people came in today sharing about their autism, and we also had Lynn Lesson. She came in and she shared about her granddaughter and her son. I wish everybody well. I wish everybody well, and you know, whatever spectrum you're on or whatever you're going through, just know that you're not alone, and you're still a human being. You're still a child of God. Yeah, I had shared some things about that last Wednesday. In the past year, Georgia Everywoman and more has been giving away thermos and coffee cups with autism where written on it. She doesn't give away. All right, Terry, you still got your. That's why I said this shirt right here is at least about 3 or 4 years old, and it still got. Look at it. It still got it color and everything. They faded. Yep. So yeah, spread shop. Let me some of the quality. I got some good quality stuff. And like I said, this I have been made this design right here. This right here got the heart on it, but it does have some more different. So I'm gonna probably give away a shirt this year. I'm gonna if if uh if he come up that day, I told him I'd get with him with the time and everything. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm just maintaining, trying to stay focused on things that I need to be focused on, and I thank God for His grace and mercy. But yeah, these I think I got the other design. It's got the little hand on it. I'm gonna see what he want. Either he get a bag or a shirt. I'm giving away one of those this time. But these are some of the merch in my shop. I got another design also. These like this shirt here made like a football jersey like shirt. These just regular t-shirts, the mug. Terry, you got one of them, ain't you? You got the mug, ain't you? And I got the water bottle. And like these right here are the bags what you put on your back. He probably like that because I know he be doing a lot of fitness, and he could put stuff like this in his bag. He could tote his water bottle and stuff like that. I might give away one of these bags right now. You can wear it on your back, and those right there like the little bag right there. So, yeah, we just remember grace is more than a prayer at mealtime. That's right. Grace is the great Lord Jesus Christ. I give God grace every day. Every day. I'm giving him some grace because I know without him, like some of the things that I'm going through, that I know that some of the things I've been working on, my blood pressure then got down pretty good. My anxiety, it's been doing good lately. But I'm just glad my blood pressure pretty good. And I've been trying to still avoid foods that give me inflammation. I'm focusing on my heart health because my doctor was saying my heart was enlarged a little bit, and he want me to start focusing more on some exercises and um, doing little things to make sure it don't get worse. So that's why I took upon myself. I said, Lord, um, I got to stay focused. So that's why I started doing the fitness for heart health and joint health. I'm starting to move around a little bit better. Still have my chronic pain, but I'm moving much better than I was a few years ago. Yep. So I'm gonna just keep pushing. Lord of God, give me the strength to do so. So if you've been missing some of my cardio, you can check it out in my shorts. I might do a live one Marvin Thursday. Like I done sat out a long time now, and my legs and stuff. So, cause I've been working with my arms and my legs. So I'm finna get on off of here if I can relax a little bit. But I do want to thank everybody that did come through. And just remember, you're not alone out here. You know, there's a lot of people that's dealing with this, but it don't define who you are. Just remember you are a child of God, and what's for you will be for you. And remember to be kind to everyone. Be kind to people, y'all. You don't know what a person might be going through. You don't know what a person might be going through. So treat people the way you would want to be treated. So on that note, thank you, Terry, for coming through. I got the thermos and the coffee cup. Oh, okay. You still using it? It's still in good shape. You ain't got a like a silver one, did you? I forgot what I gave you, but I know it was for autism. It's good to see you, and take care of yourself. I probably pop back. I probably do my thing tomorrow. Come on and do that tomorrow. Hey, Jules, how you been doing? Good to see you. She's one of my members. Thank you, Jules, for continuing your membership. You've been with me for a minute now. I appreciate you. You been doing okay? I know I read your comment. You had said you was gonna be drinking some tea. You said you were gonna be doing some of the things I was doing. I appreciate the ones that been supporting me, like the people that don't even post, or the ones that don't really work on that channel. They come in my comments. They be telling me to keep going. You doing good, and I thank God that I'm able to do some of the things I'm doing, but I'm a work in progress, y'all. I'm still a work in progress. After I lost my mom, I felt like I didn't know how I was going. I felt like I was lost. I felt like that I wasn't going to be, lose my mom just it's just like it was a big hole in my heart. And I had to go to the heart doctor. I went to the heart doctor, and my doctor told me that I did have a enlarged heart, and he want me to focus more on doing some cardios and try to avoid the foods that I shouldn't be eating. But I'm human, y'all. I'm human, and so since I've been doing this good exercising and changing the way I've been eating, I've been feeling pretty good mentally. I didn't came a long way. I didn't came a long way. So I had to put everything in perspective, and I had to focus on my mental health and my physical health. You know, I don't try to crowd my space with nothing that shouldn't be there. If it's for me, it'll be for me. If it ain't, it ain't. It's just as simple as that. I'm coming back to YouTube, so I'm glad. All right, but I'd be here for you, girl. I'd be here. You been with me. And like I said, you one of my longtime members and stuff. And I appreciate you. And yeah, whenever you have time or whenever you decide to come back, old George will be there for you. You know. You know what you're gonna come back to be doing. You got an idea of what you want to do. I haven't been over the Dream Team side in a while. I think I seen Dana live the other day. I peep in and out over there. It ain't too much going on. But I think he's R. Kelly trying to get an appeal or something. I haven't followed it in a while, but you know, it still be some little drama going over there, and I don't have time for that. I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. A little bit of everything. Okay, go ahead then, girl. You can do it. You can do it. But yeah, I just want to talk about autism awareness because it's Autism Awareness Month. Like I said, I have the merch available, and just anybody that's going through that, just know that you're not alone out here. I try to use my platform as a opening where people can share, they can come up and talk, or either they can put in the comments. I had a couple of people today, so shout out to Brian Hamilton for coming through. Shout out to Lynn Lesson for coming through sharing about her grandchild. Brian Hamilton did tell me he had autism. I had a new person to come through today. I want to thank them for coming through. And like I said, let's continue to be kind to one another. Try to uplift and not tear down. That's just my motto over here. If I can't lift you up, I won't tear you down. Because that's one thing I don't do. I don't never want to make another person feel bad about nothing they going through. Because people are going through things you might not even know it. You can look at a person, you assume they might be living a perfect life or they're doing well, but you don't know what people are going through behind closed doors. That's why you should treat everybody right, because you know those tables can turn. So on that note, y'all continue to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? It was good to see some of my members today. Shout out to those Georgia what? Troopers. And thank you, Brian C, for the super chat. So on that note, y'all continue to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? Prayed up. And until next time, bye-bye. I'll probably come on live tomorrow and do some of my fitness. I'll see y'all on the next go round. Bye-bye.